Blockchain isn't just for crypto anymore. What if it's the key to uploading human souls? Welcome to Cool, Weird, and Possible. Today, we're diving into a realm where sci-fi doesn't just meet reality. It starts to look, well, terrifyingly similar. We're grappling with some big, head-spinning questions. Do NFTs actually contain fragments of a human mind? Is this digital immortality we hear about a genuine future, or maybe the ultimate scam? And are those metaverse avatars we're spending so much time with quietly evolving into true digital souls?
It's a fascinating area, definitely, and really complex. It touches on everything from, cutting-edge brain science to the very nature of what it means to be you. We've got some really intriguing material to unpack here that I think will leave you thinking long after this deep dive is over.
Okay, let's start there then. This idea of a digital soul. What exactly are we talking about when we mention uploading our consciousness?
Essentially, it's the idea that an AI could be trained on a person's entire digital footprint. Think about their journals, emails, conversations, all their social media interactions, everything.
Wow, okay, the whole digital exhaust.
Exactly. To the point where it could respond and behave just as that person would. And this isn't merely creating like a digital puppet or a chatbot.
Okay.
It's about embedding a semblance of our consciousness, our very soul maybe, into a digital form, something that can then act and react independently even after, you know,
After the original person is gone.
precisely, like a living memory.
A living memory, even of a historical figure, with someone future generations could actually talk to.
Yeah.
That's incredibly compelling. Are there actually companies working on this stuff right now?
Oh, absolutely. Companies like Humai, Forever, and Etername are actively exploring these possibilities. They're using AI, trying to figure out how individuals might potentially live on digitally.
And this ties directly into our digital avatars in the metaverse, right? Are they more than just, digital representations? Could they become real extensions of ourselves?
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Our identity can and often does extend into virtual worlds. Studies show our online avatars can become a significant part of ourself. There's even this concept called the Proteus effect.
Proteus effect.
Yeah, it's where an avatar's appearance can actually influence how a person behaves, both online and offline.
Seriously, like how?
Well, for example, using a taller avatar might make you feel and act more confident, even after you log off.
No way.
It suggests this really deep, implicit bond between us and our digital representations. You could even view the relationship between a person and their avatar as a kind of mind-body dualism, but where the body is virtual.
That totally makes me think of Ready Player One's Oasis, people living huge parts of their lives through avatars.
Exactly.
Or, oh, that Black Mirror episode, San Junipero, the whole digital afterlife thing.
A classic example, yeah. Uploaded consciousness in a simulated paradise.
And the Upload series, too, which is kind of funny, but also explores that digital heaven idea.
Right. These stories make it feel so close, so plausible.
But here's the big question, the one that always nags at me. Can a digital being, a computer, truly be conscious? Or is it just a really, really convincing act? A perfect imitation?
That is the core philosophical debate, isn't it? And a scientific one, too. One school of thought, functionalism, suggests, yeah, maybe it could. It argues consciousness isn't about the stuff you're made of neurons or silicon chips.
Okay.
It's about the function, how information is processed. So if a digital computer could function exactly like a human brain, process information in the same way.
It would be conscious, feel happiness, sadness, all of it.
According to functionalism, yes. Think about a calculator doing 2 + 2 = 4. Your brain can do it, a calculator can do it. The function is the same.
Okay, so if we can perfectly program it to mimic our brain's functions, bam, it's conscious.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, that feels a bit cold. What about, like, subjective experience, the feeling of dread or heartbreak, or dare I say it, the soul?
Right, and that's the pushback. That leads us to non-functionalist theories. Panpsychism is one example. These argue that consciousness involves inherent qualities. Philosophers call them qualia.
Quali.
Yeah, the specific feeling of redness, the unique texture of sadness or joy. And crucially, our brains are analog systems.
Analog. How so?
Well, neurons don't just fire on or off like a digital switch, a 1 or a 0. They fire in different shapes, different intensities, maybe even communicate through subtle electromagnetic waves outside the synapses. It's continuous, graded.
Ah, okay. Not just ones and zeros.
Exactly. And that's fundamentally different from a digital computer's binary processing. So the argument is a digital system might miss that analog richness, that continuous quality.
So a digital mind could only fake it, but never actually make it. Like, it could act perfectly human, but inside, nothing. Just static on a screen, like one expert suggested. Conscious of nothing at all.
That's the fear for many, yes. That virtual worlds, being just code, can't truly contain conscious beings or provide genuine experiences. There's a prominent consciousness theory, integrated information theory.
IIT.
Yeah, and it explicitly states that a perfect computer simulation of a brain would not have consciousness like a real brain. It would experience, quote, next to nothing.
Wow. Why?
Because the simulation models the function, but it doesn't instantiate the underlying structure or cause that IIT claims is necessary for consciousness. Think about it.
Yeah.
Simulating a black hole on your computer doesn't make your computer implode, right?
Right. Good point. It's just a model.
Exactly. It's a model,
Yeah.
not the real thing.
This sounds a lot like that famous Chinese room argument, doesn't it?
It's very relevant, yes.
A computer follows rules, spits out answers that look like understanding, but does it actually understand the meaning? The semantics?
Precisely. Does it know what red means, or just how to use the word red correctly in a sentence?
Which brings us back to the massive question, what is consciousness, really?
It's a deep, deep rabbit hole. Honestly, it's one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in science. The main idea in neuroscience is that it's an emergent property from complex brain activity.
Emergent, okay.
But there's no complete understanding.
Right.
Some argue, look, if we don't truly know what it is, how can we possibly simulate or replicate it reliably?
Makes sense.
And then you have other ideas, like idealism, suggesting maybe brains aren't even the source of consciousness, just how it appears to us externally. They often talk about intentionality, how consciousness is always about something else as a key feature that's hard to replicate.
Okay, my head is spinning a bit now. This leads to maybe the biggest, most personal question in all this. If you could upload your mind, would the digital you actually still be you, or would it just be a copy? Because so much sci-fi, like the game Soma or Altered Carbon, really plays on that terrifying idea. It's just a duplicate, and the original you is gone.
That's often called the teleportation problem in philosophy. It's a huge sticking point. If you make a perfect copy, atom for atom, memory for memory, and the original ceases to exist.
Is the copy me?
Many people argue, quite forcefully, no. The original you, your stream of subjective experience, ends. It faces the void.
Ugh.
The digital copy would have all your memories, act exactly like you, fool everyone, but your unique first-person perspective, that thread of continuity, wouldn't transfer.
So it's an imitation, not a continuation.
That's how many see it. I remember seeing a comment online, someone put it very bluntly. Call me selfish, but if I'm not the one experiencing it, it's not me, never will be, just an imitation while I rot in the dirt.
Wow. Yeah, that hits hard. So for people seeking actual immortality this way, it's kind of a philosophical scam.
You could definitely frame it that way. You get a digital legacy,
Right.
a duplicate,
Yeah.
but you, the conscious being reading this now, still expire.
So you wouldn't actually get to experience digital eternity.
Not according to that view, no. Now, some philosophers push back. They argue that this whole thread of continuity is maybe an illusion anyway.
Oh, so?
Well, are you really the exact same person you were at age 5? Or even last year? Identity is more of a continuum, constantly changing.
Okay, that's a point. But does that really help? It still feels like the copy isn't me experiencing things now.
For most people, no. That philosophical point doesn't quite erase the gut feeling that the copy is someone else, even if it's a perfect replica.
Is there any way around this copy problem? Any theoretical way to get actual continuity?
Well, there's one intriguing idea often discussed: gradual replacement.
Gradual replacement.
Yeah, imagine replacing tiny pieces of your biological brain, one neuron or one small cluster at a time, with synthetic parts, like nanochips, that function identically.
Okay, slow.
Very slowly, incrementally. The idea is, most people would probably agree that if you replace one tiny part, the person who wakes up the next morning is still them.
Right. It's still me if I just get like one microscopic chip implant.
Exactly. So if
Oh.
you continue that process gradually over time until the whole brain is synthetic, in theory, you maintain the continuity of consciousness throughout the transition. You gradually become digital without ever dying and being copied.
Ah, I see. Like the ship of Theseus, but for the brain.
Precisely. And sci-fi like Altered Carbon explores this with the cortical stack idea, continuous backup. Your body's destroyed, your consciousness boots up in a new sleeve, only missing maybe the last few moments. That preserves the feeling of continuity for the characters.
Fascinating. Okay, so the method of transfer is absolutely crucial. It's not just if, but how.
Definitely. The devil, or maybe the digital angel, is in those details.
All right, let's bring NFTs into this tangled web.
Hmm.
Where do non-fungible tokens fit in? Are they just, fancy digital receipts for monkey pictures, or could they actually, in some far-out future, hold bits of consciousness or act as a deed for a digital soul?
Okay, so NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
At their core, they're unique digital identifiers recorded on a blockchain. They use a specific standard, usually ERC 721 on Ethereum, to prove something digital is technically unique and original.
So like a certificate of authenticity for digital stuff.
Exactly. It proves ownership and uniqueness of the token itself, which is linked to an asset, like digital art.
Yeah.
It's proof of the token's originality, not necessarily the art's artistic originality, if that makes sense.
Okay. Got it. Unique digital property deed, but consciousness, a soul, that still feels like a massive leap. How does that connect?
Right, it's definitely a conceptual leap and not the mainstream view currently. The argument isn't that an NFT contains consciousness like data in a file.
Okay, good.
It's more about its potential function within a future digital identity system. Think about all that digital legacy data we talked about, social media, wearables, everything.
Yeah.
If AI models trained on that could represent a digital soul, then an NFT could potentially serve as the unique verifiable token linked to that specific digital soul. It would be the unforgeable record on the blockchain saying, this specific digital consciousness construct is unique, and here's who owns or controls it.
So if my metaverse avatar becomes like a sentient digital being, its NFT could be the title deed. Prove that this digital soul is the original, it belongs to me.
It's one speculative way to think about how you might manage identity and ownership for unique digital beings or consciousness constructs in a decentralized digital future. It's about verifiable uniqueness and provenance on the blockchain.
Okay, conceptually.
Maybe. And some people view NFTs already as this weird meta-medium. They blur the lines between human and machine creation, like who's the original creator, the artist, the AI software they use, the customer who interacts with it. It gets fluid.
Right, the lines blur.
And that blurring, that idea of shared creation leading to a unique digital thing, kind of hints at how a digital representation could gain unique value or significance, maybe even tied to identity.
That's pretty wild. But let's be real, NFTs have a terrible reputation right now, don't they? Scams, fraud, speculation, the whole market looks like a dumpster fire sometimes. That doesn't exactly scream trustworthy container for my immortal soul.
You're absolutely right to bring that up. It's a huge issue. The NFT market has faced widespread criticism. Experts have called it an economic bubble, comparing it to things like the 17th century tulip mania.
Yeah, I've heard that.
There have been massive problems with speculation, outright fraud, artists having their work stolen and minted as NFTs without permission, and even wash trading.
Wash trading? What's that?
That's where people basically sell NFTs back and forth to themselves, using different accounts, to artificially inflate the price and trading volume. Makes it look popular so others buy in.
Ugh, shady.
Very. So all this raises serious questions about the stability, security, and ethical foundations needed before you could even think about entrusting something as profound as a digital identity or a soul to this kind of system. The infrastructure and trust just aren't there yet for many.
Yeah, that seems like a massive understatement. Which brings us neatly to the ethics of it all. If we can create these digital versions of ourselves, what are the moral implications? For us, for society?
It's enormous. There was a study looking specifically at human values and digital immortality. Participants had really clear concerns, mostly focused on who would use this tech and how.
Right. Control is key.
Exactly. Basic human values like privacy, identity itself, emotion, trust, even property rights, they all become critical. Like, how do you ensure your digital self respects your original values? Who gets to talk to it after you're gone? Can it be deleted? Sold?
Oh, wow. Yeah, tons of questions. Can your digital ghost get divorced?
Yeah. Well, maybe not divorce, but issues of control, access, and representation are huge.
And it goes back to the avatars too, right? If they're extensions.
Precisely. The extended self theory suggests actions in virtual worlds aren't just gameplay. They can have real psychological impact. Think about griefing, deliberately causing distress in virtual worlds. It's recognized as cyberbullying because it hurts the real person behind the avatar.
Yeah, that's alluring.
And people invest real time, effort, sometimes real money, into virtual items or status.
Yeah.
Losing that can cause genuine negative feelings. It has value to them.
So treating a digital entity badly could actually be harming the person.
Many philosophers argue yes. Virtual actions are still interactions between real people, just mediated differently. They should be subject to moral consideration. Some even argue that behaving immorally in a virtual space, even just in a game, could potentially erode your real-world character or virtue over time.
That's heavy. Makes you think twice about your online behavior.
It should. And there's also the surprise scenario that some researchers worry about.
Surprise scenario. Sounds ominous.
It's the idea that human-level whole brain emulation or something like it might happen very suddenly, like due to some unexpected scientific breakthrough.
Ah, so we wouldn't have time to prepare.
Exactly. Society might have very little time to grapple with the legal, ethical, and social fallout. What does it mean to be human if you can be copied or uploaded overnight? Our systems would be completely unprepared.
Okay, so wrapping this up. Can your consciousness become an NFT? It feels like the answer is a giant flashing maybe, but it's complicated and also terrifying.
That's a pretty good summary, actually.
We've bounced between these amazing, almost utopian ideas of living forever digitally and these really deep, dark pools of philosophy about what identity even is, whether a simulation can be real, and the ethics of it all. And NFTs, maybe they're a technical piece of the puzzle for unique digital identity. Or maybe just another speculative bubble distraction for now.
And that core ethical dilemma just hangs there. If you could live forever digitally, would that digital you truly be you? Or something else entirely? The lines between real and simulated are blurring faster than ever. Our journey into this cool, weird, impossible future is definitely just beginning. So many more questions than answers.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into digital souls. If you enjoyed this journey into the cool, weird, and possible, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the unknown.